I'm finally ready to tell you guys about the creepiest influencer I encountered when I was living out in LA. The story starts in 2016 when I met them for the first time. At this point, I was still living in Arizona, but I would just randomly drive out there for a couple of days. I don't know why. But while I was out there, this male influencer, we're gonna call him Lennon, pretty close to his first name, but I'm not trying to get sued, so we gotta use a code name. So when I first met this guy, it was very obvious that he was just trying to do a quick hookup type of thing, so I kept it quick and short, and I didn't plan on ever seeing him again. A couple months later, me and my friend Alexia ended up moving out there together, and one of my first friends that I made was Denzel Dion. And one day he asked me, hey, do you have any other friends out here? And I mentioned Lennon, that it was just like a quick little interaction, and he told me, oh, that's actually my friend. Honestly, girl, I don't know who invited him, but just randomly one day he showed up to one of our hangouts, and he just kind of became a member of our group. I kid you not, maybe only 2 or 3 weeks into us all hanging out, he got a little too comfortable, and all of a sudden he's saying all these degrading things to me out loud in public. Like, we'll be in the middle of a restaurant and he's talking about what he wanted to do to me and just all this crazy stuff, and we were so embarrassed. And he doesn't just stop at the nasty talk. Eventually he starts groping, touching me, and just being super like touchy. When he would do these things, I would yell at him and be like, can you stop? Like, can you keep your hands to yourself? But everybody would just laugh about it. So eventually it just became like a normal thing, which is so strange to say out loud. Girl, one day I had enough and I just snapped. I went off on him and he exited the friend group. Fast forward, my lease is up and I move into this apartment complex in Glendale that all of my friends were living at, so we could all just be together all the time. Like, I'm talking about breakfast together, lunch, shopping, dinner, falling asleep at each other's places, and then restarting the next day. We were all very close. One day, me and another girl in the friend group were just talking about boys, and I brought Lennon up and I told her how he made me feel so uncomfortable and just how nasty he was towards me. So when I tell you I was shocked when they started dating, now Lennon is at every breakfast, lunch, dinner, hangout, and if he was a normal, decent human being that wasn't weird as fuck, you would think that, oh, that would be fine. The past was the past. He has a girlfriend now, so like he's not gonna be weird towards you. Wrong. We would be in a small ass sushi restaurant and he'd be rubbing up all on her, but looking me in the eye. Like, I would always purposely try to sit as far away as possible from him so he could not look at me, because he was always constantly doing this weird shit. He'd be looking right at me and like trying to pull my friend's shirt off. Eventually we decided that we all want to go to Miami, and I told my friends, please do not invite him. Like, can we just make this a friends trip? No boyfriends, no girlfriends. But no, Lennon ends up booking a flight as well, and when we're all boarded on this plane, we're looking around like, where are they at? Why did this man start a fight saying he didn't want to go because I was gonna be there, so they missed their plane? They ended up catching another flight and they met us there later on. There ends up being this huge fight at the dinner table, and while we're walking back to our hotel, this guy's behind me texting me how much he hates me, like literally walking 10 feet behind. Your girl had other friends that lived in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, so I just made the best of the trip and did my own thing after that. We go back home and he doesn't stop his shit. Every time I'm around, he's starting a fight, he's starting an issue with me. Sometimes I would go, he wouldn't be there, and he would eventually just show up, so I just kind of made my own other friends outside of the group. So if me and my new friends would walk into a party and I would see him there, I'd be like, okay, let's go somewhere else. It's so crazy to me how I vented to this girl about all the crazy stuff, because it was bad. And then she went on and dated him. So when I saw that TikTok that went viral a couple months ago of that girl saying that he was her childhood and middle school bully, I was not surprised, because he's the king of making people fucking uncomfortable. Another reason why I wanted to move out of LA. That's it for the story time. I'll see you guys in my next one tomorrow. Bye.
This is the worst ever influencer YouTuber experience that I've ever had. Mind you, this person has more than 1 million followers on YouTube and Facebook. I realized that I don't share a lot about my life on here, and I really want to start changing that, because I'm an interesting person, I think. I was back at my first ever job out of college. I was working front desk at my office, and my job was sort of to say hi to people, get clients, and tour them around our office. And at that time, our office was having like an exhibit, a presentation, so people were welcome to come and go. And one of the people who came into our office turned out to be this really big YouTuber. The moment the elevators opened, he had like his camera on and he was filming everything. And I really didn't mind, because a lot of people really do film in that office space because we had a lot of interesting items there. I didn't know that he was a YouTuber. I'm not his target audience. His target audience were like male adults, because every male adult in that office were sort of starstruck by him, while all of the girls didn't know who he was. So part of my job was to like say hi, introduce myself, and tour them around my office. During the entire time he was filming, which I didn't care. It was common practice for people to do that. What I didn't know is that he was actually filming me. How did I find out that he was filming me? Well, he posted me on his Facebook page. Guys in my office tagged me in it saying, oh my god, Bianca, you're here, blah blah blah. There were so many problems to this, because at that time I was not even on social media. I was mortified because it was technically like a fan cam of me. It's just stolen shots of me to the sound of Beautiful Girl by Sean Kingston. I appreciate it so much, because at that time I felt so objectified, especially by his comments. A lot of his male audience commented very like disgusting, objectifying comments about me. No permission at all to film me. Posted without my consent. And I felt objectified in the process. So yeah, I cried when I saw it because I felt so exposed. And this happened in my workplace. So then he called my work number. My work number at that time was public. You could find it like on every business card. He called me asking if I was the reception lady, and I said yes. And he was like, did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see my video about you? Are you not happy? Everybody loves you. And I told him, no, I'm not happy. You have to take it down. He's like, no, but everybody loves you online. They think that you're pretty and everything. And I said, no, I don't. I was so offended by it because I hate it when men do this because they think that their objectification of you is a positive thing. Eventually, the video was taken down because I also made other calls to the people he was with at that day. Honestly, that's not even the worst part of the story for me. Because this happened at my work, everybody at the office knew, and this eventually reached my bosses. Somebody in the office did tell my bosses, trying to explain to them that what happened to me was harassment. And this is what was relayed to me in that conversation. Apparently, one of my bosses, who is a girl, told her that what happened to me wasn't harassment, and that I should have known better. Should have known better than to say no. And you, I didn't even know that this was happening. That comment really hurt me because this was my first job. I'm the youngest person in this office. The whole experience was one big learning curve, especially as a young woman just starting out her career. So nice ending to this story. Actually, I still feel like it's unresolved. Very bitter about it that it ended that way. And if things like that happen to you where you don't know what's happening, or maybe you're just not brave enough to say no, it's never your fault. That's all to my story today. Let me know if I should do more of these.
Here's cringy things I've experienced as an influencer. This one was recent. So I was at an influencer party recently, and this one girl came up to me, and obviously we do network at these events and follow each other and stuff, but it's not like do at least chat and get to know each other first. So this girl literally comes up to me and shoves her phone in my face just for me to follow her. Did not even say hello. So I was like, you know what? You look really pretty. Your outfit's fire. I'm gonna follow you. She was the one person out of 200 people I networked with at the event that didn't follow me back. Like, why would you do that and then not follow me back? Like, if you want fans that bad, that's not the way to get them. Number 2, I've had influencers immediately come up to me when they notice that I have more followers and ask if I can be their dedicated +1. So if you don't know, for influencer events and things of that nature where you get flued out and all that good stuff, you get a +1 because a lot of people don't like to fly alone or travel alone. So your +1 can be anyone, and a lot of people know this, so they try to just be people's +1s instead of doing the work to get invited to influencer events. Now, I'm a people pleaser, so when people come up to me, like literally have never met me before and automatically ask me that, I'm like, you know, sure, if the time arises, I love to help people out. But if I'm going to be honest, like, I have no idea who you are, and I have people that I would want to be my +1 before you. Like, my friends, people I grew up with, my boyfriend. And it's like they either think that I don't have anybody or they just know and they want to be above them somehow. Number 3, so I met this bigger influencer recently and I was just so obsessed with the content that she posts until she posted something so controversial. Like immediately after I met her, she posted this cutesy reel in a cute outfit mocking homeless people. Like, I'm so serious. She went to the streets of New York, got a cardboard cutout sign, wrote with a Sharpie, "Need money for Gucci bags," and went out onto the streets of New York City and held it up in front of traffic and had a camera team outside recording her. What is going on? I almost instantly unfollowed, but the thing is, I'm petty. So I wanted to go back to her page and see what people are saying because I saw it when she had just posted it, 0 likes. A lot of influencers get away with stuff like that, so I thought that maybe she was going to get away with it because possibly her only friends are influencers. But no, she was getting dragged in the comments. Girl, what the is wrong with you? And I was like, girl, LOL. And then some other things transpired, but I don't know if I want to get too deep into the drama because they're gonna know I'm talking about them. But anyway, y'all, this is literally the 1%. Like, in my whole career, I've only had like maybe 5 or 6 things happen. I've met hundreds of influencers and everybody is so sweet. Like, they're just literally one of the girls. Like, they're so supportive. Influencers are not bad, but there are select few, just like anything else in life. Bye.
I'm convinced some influencers are actually the meanest people ever. I've had this one in particular who has been extra rude to me, and everyone loves her and thinks she's so nice, so here's the story time. Not too long ago, I went to an event with a bunch of influencers. Like, there was probably 30 or 40 different people there. Like, it was crazy, so many people, and I honestly was so excited. There was this one girl in particular who I was so excited to meet because I'd been following her on TikTok for so long. She has over 1 million followers, and I think a lot of them are because on social media she comes off as a very nice person, but she's not nice. Well, at least to me she wasn't. Towards the end of the event, I decided to go up to her and introduce myself, which is honestly not like me at all because I'm very like to myself. I'm a shy person, so that took a lot for me to even go up to her and be like, hi, I'm Nova. Like, I was trying to be very nice. Right off the bat, when I first introduced myself, she like blatantly ignored me, which I was like, oh wow, like that's kind of rude, but I was just like, maybe she didn't hear me. Well, then later, one of my other friends who was already friends with her went up to her, and I just went with her and I was like, oh hi, I'm Nova again. And that time she was like, oh hi, I'm blah blah blah, it's so nice to meet you. But it's because there was like another person there, so I felt like she had to be nice. I don't know. Well, then the other girl that I went up there with was like, oh my goodness, y'all should follow each other on social media. And so I went on TikTok. I had already followed her, but then she went on TikTok and she followed me. And I was like, oh, like maybe she is nice. And at this point, I did think she was being like very nice. Well, then the event's over. I go back to my hotel. I don't really think anything of it. And I'm like, wow, like she actually was nice. Maybe I just got like a bad impression at first. Maybe she didn't hear me. I don't know. Well, then later that night, I was just scrolling through TikTok and she comes up on my For You page, and I had tapped her profile and she had unfollowed me within like 2 hours of following me. And I was like, what the heck? I personally just thought it was really rude, so I never unfollowed her because that's just not the kind of person I am. But isn't that rude? Well, then a week after the event, come to find out, another girl I had met had told me that that girl was actually saying some like negative things about me at the event when she had never even met me, to make like assumptions or an impression on me because she didn't know me. Anyways, that's a story time on a girl that everyone on social media thinks is so nice, but she was actually pretty rude to me. Bye.
Let's talk about big creators stealing small creators' content, i.e. what just happened to me. So about a month and a half ago, I made this video about the 2 things I always do when I wear a hat. I used to not like wearing hats because I didn't think I looked cute until I started doing these 2 things. And I was wearing a hat that day. I felt inspired to share it with my audience. I hadn't seen a video like that, so that's what I did. And the video did pretty well. And a couple days ago, some sweet angel of a TikTok user commented and tagged me in this creator's video. This creator made this video a couple days ago. Never seen her before, but she has almost 200,000 followers. And to say that our videos are similar is a bit of an understatement. She essentially just copied my entire video from like the opening line to the wording, verbiage, phrasing, the 2 tips I used. The 2 tips I used are nothing groundbreaking. They aren't. And I'm not trying to like gatekeep making videos on this subject, but this was straight up just copying my video, and there's a couple things that bother me about this situation. The first thing is she did not tag me. I think she did that very intentionally because she just copied my video, and I've had some people stitch my video and tag me in their videos when they're trying these things out, and I love that. Like, I love when people see one of my videos and are inspired enough to try doing whatever I did themselves. Like, I think that's the point of TikTok. I think that's so cool and one of my favorite parts about making content. But this was not being inspired by content. The other thing that bugs me is she didn't really add anything to the video. She just straight up copied everything that I said. And after watching the video and kind of realizing what happened, it really just gave me such like an icky feeling. Like, it just felt like she was trying to secretively do this, thinking I would never see her video, which I probably wouldn't have ever seen her video if it wasn't for that random person tagging me in her comments. It just felt like she was trying to take advantage of a small creator. It just felt very calculated and slimy, to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if she's done this in the past or does this regularly. And the main thing that bugs me about this situation, whether you've been creating content for 2 days or 2 months or 2 years or however long you've been creating content, we all started in the same position. We all started with 0 followers, not really knowing what we're doing. And the fact that this person, who has probably been on TikTok a lot longer than I have, is doing that to a small creator just really rubs me the wrong way. It's just slimy and mean. And it's like, I don't understand why somebody would do that. I've tried to message her on TikTok. I've tried to message her on Instagram. I've commented on her videos. I've seen people tagging her in my video and vice versa. I have not heard from her. I think that's also very intentional. I think she's trying to ignore me and sweep it under the rug. So it's okay to be inspired by videos you see on TikTok. It's naturally gonna happen always, but just give credit where credit is due, and maybe don't straight up copy a video word for word.
Not to add more tea to this influencer discourse, but I want to share a personal story that happened to me as a creator in LA. Quite traumatizing. I think I've never felt worse about myself, and I think I almost cried that night. This was a beauty brand event in LA, and I'm super lucky. I go to a bunch of events, whether it's lifestyle or skincare, fashion, luxury, low-end, high-end, all that, and I've almost never had a bad experience. And the LA demographic as creators, I always felt like was much more diverse than any other city. I think more than New York. This was a skincare brand I was genuinely so obsessed with. I'm on their PR. I love their stuff. I post about them organically all the time. I buy their stuff. And there's 2 founders. One of them is API. I just genuinely love their brand. I don't even think they knew that this was happening that night. When I got there, I came from my 9 to 5 because I'm a corporate girly. Very clearly, you walk in, there's like a step and repeat photo area right before you go into the event. Like you take photos with your phone, or there's a photographer usually. This photographer was clearly only taking pictures of white creators. And if they were taking pictures of creators of color, it was like sandwiched maybe in between white creators. It wasn't just me. It was like every single person that night I was watching. And at first I was like, you know what, maybe it's because like my following is not as big. And, I was just like justifying what the reasons are. Even if that's not a great reason, I was like, maybe those creators just have like massive followings, those white creators. I later looked them up. They either have a very small or like similar to mine. And so I was like, okay, if that's not the reason, I just felt it was very clear it was because I was not a white creator. What makes this worse is that as the event goes, they are actually taking just pictures of anyone that is not a person of color, whether they're like press or friends of the brand, like they're not even creators. But it was very clear they just didn't want to take pictures like creators of color. And that definitely was like a wow moment for me. Like I said, in LA, I've only seen very well represented groups of brand events, and just like the diversity is pretty good, like just well representation all around. Like not perfect, but usually I see it. And I have literally done the red carpet after Billie Eilish for a movie premiere, and I have still gotten my photos taken, and like that's just like the event process, right? Like I'm not expecting the same amount of attention as Billie Eilish, but I show up because I was invited because they wanted pictures or content, like whatever. And so it was just like the most jarring experience. I have never felt so bad about myself. And I consider myself to be quite of a confident and self-assured person. But like imagine going to that kind of space and clearly you were invited by a brand that you love, and this photographer is doing stuff like this. This is just the tip of the iceberg of like, if there's a photographer doing this, there's people on the social team or the brand side, like who are doing the same kind of thing, who are reaching out to the same creators, who look the same, do the same life. And so this is just an example. I might not have the biggest following, but in the last, 3-ish years of doing this, I've been able to make almost $1 million in sponsorships and brand deals. And like, I'm super proud of that, but I know that there is so much more wage gap discrepancy, opportunities, events, like all this stuff, like times 5 worse. My creator friends in New York, creators of color, have shared that in New York, it's actually worse, and especially because there's more of like a little bit more of like that like luxury fashion scene, and photographers will literally not take photos of you unless you are, or, maybe like A-list Hollywood famous. I hope this encourages you to engage with creators who maybe look different from you, have a different experience. Let's amplify creators of color or just like different types of content, right? Like that it starts with content diversity before anything else, and everything else follows. And so I just hope that this brings a little bit of an insight.
So I just moved to LA from Ohio, and by now I've met a lot of the influencers that live here, and some are great and really fun to be around. Others are more like the worst people I've ever met in my entire life. But other than that, they're nice people. Here's what it's like to meet the worst person you've ever met in your entire life at a party in LA. Okay, I'm me right now. Hi, I'm Becca. Hi. I'm a huge fan. I love you. Aww. Why do you look familiar? Do you comment on my stuff all the time? You big fan? No, I make TikToks too. You might have seen them. I don't know. I'm sorry. Aw, cute. That's probably not it though. I don't watch other people's TikToks. I'm busy. You are standing right in front of me, and Justin Bieber's at this party, so nice to meet you. Cutie, sweetie, love her. Here's what it's like to meet someone that you're mutuals with, but you're about to find out they're one of the worst people you've ever met in your entire life. Here's me trying to greet them, thinking that they'll be normal. Oh my God, Ashley. How are you? Who are you? Are you a fan? Hi. It's Becca. We were DMing this morning and yesterday and the day before yesterday. Becca. oh, the Becca girl. How'd you get into this party? Who invited you? For real, who invited you? That was hard. It spent like 3 days trying to get into this party. But you are still doing the little ticky-tacky things that you're doing, right? Oh, cutie, cute. Love that. That's so cute. Keep doing them. One day they'll amount to something. I do TikTok full-time as well, actually, except mine are different than yours and different in a better way, you know? Like mine are actually good. That's cute of you though. Remind me the content you make. I just can't remember. Oh, they're the ones that are supposed to be funny. They're the ones that are supposed to be funny. Guys, aw, okay. Yeah, I think I've laughed at one of them. Here's the part where I'm just gonna start name dropping some people by first name only. And for some reason I'm annoyed at them, but we're also best friends. Harry, Ariana Grande, yeah. She actually brought me here on her jet. Ugh, I hated it. I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. Kimmy and Kylie. They keep calling me every day. I'm like, I can hang out with you every day. I'm bored of you. I'm bored of talking to you. Can you go away? Wait, how many followers do you have on Instagram now? You wanna be on my story? Get on my story. Get over here. Cute. Thank you. Okay, bye. So yeah.
Can I talk shit for a second? Can I talk my shit with you guys? I feel like enough time has passed now that I can finally talk about one of the worst experiences I've ever had meeting another influencer. For context, me and Justin had just gotten off of a flight from a brand trip in another country. It was an amazing trip. It was so fun. We were so happy with it. And from there, we were on our way to another event literally so fast. We were exhausted, but we're like, let's go to this event. It'll be fun. It'll keep us, you know, energized. It's on the beaches of Malibu. It's beautiful. So many people we know are there. We're mixing, we're mingling, we're having drinks, we're eating food, we're taking pictures. It's great. We then start to see a lot of our event friends. For those who don't know what that means, I call event friends because they are people that I only see at events, but if I were to see them outside of events, we'd be great friends, but unfortunately, we just don't cross paths. A group of a few people that we know came up to us and started talking to us, and there was one person in the group that we had never met before, so obviously we're gonna talk to them, get to know them, chat with them, or so I thought. I start talking with the people that we know because I'm catching them up on what we were doing. A lot of them followed our trip and were like, wow, that's so amazing. How was it? I'm explaining to them everything. My boyfriend Justin's right next to me talking to the person that we actually don't know because he's just good at that. He's good at making friends. We are close enough that we can hear both of each other's conversations. That's important, so keep that in mind. I can hear them talking. They're both bonding over the fact that they both work regular jobs. I work a regular job too, so I was like, oh, that's super interesting. I'm talking to the other 2 or 3 people about the trip we did, all the excursions we did, the content we got, etc., etc. As I'm talking to these people, I know them well enough that I feel safe enough to drop a brand name and be like, this is the brand that took us. This is how we did it. It was so fun. It was so great. Once I did that, I could hear the other person who was talking to my boyfriend say, hold on one second, and then enter our conversation. Mind you, I still don't know this person. I have not spoken to them. I don't even know their name. And as I'm still mid-sentence talking to the other people about the brand that sent me, they cut me off and go, I love that brand. Oh my God, that's on my vision board. I want to work with that brand so bad. Like, can you get me a contact? Whoa, whoa, whoa. First things first, hi, hello, how are you? My name's Louis, what's yours? Second off, did I just watch you and feel you cut off my boyfriend because you were uninterested in that conversation now because I'm talking about something that could possibly get you ahead? No, that's exactly what happened, but that's not even the worst part. From there, we do the whole to-do where it's if you don't know each other, you exchange Instagram. So of course, I'm not gonna be rude. I exchange my Instagram with this person. They exchange with me. They then ask Justin for his Instagram. So I'm like, oh, no biggie. They just heard something. They didn't mean to cut him off. They're not actually rude. Oh, bitch, buckle up. If you want to hear something so fucking influencer, Justin hands his phone to this person. They hand it back. They type in their Instagrams. They hand each other their phones back with their Instagram profiles showing so they can follow each other. And this person looks at their phone, looks at Justin's follower count, looks back at Justin, looks him up and down and goes, I only follow people who have a lot of followers. Excuse the fuck out of me? Mind you, they said this in front of me and the other people I was talking to. I don't know if you have fucking rocks for brains, have never had a conversation, a real conversation with someone in your life, or have never learned how to network with people, but babe, that's not fucking it. Right there, me and Justin were checked out of the conversation. He was like, yeah, I get it, whatever. We don't fucking get it, because I don't get following people and putting value on people based on their follower count. But that was it. I was like, we don't have to see them again. This event is really huge. We can go do other things. We actually don't end up seeing them for the rest of the event. And I'm just like, thank God. I get home and I come to find that I have a little notification in my messages on Instagram. Guess fucking who? It's exactly who you think it is. And they sent me a long ass fucking paragraph. The paragraph starts off, hey, it was so great meeting you today. I love that you worked with X brand. As I mentioned, they're one of my favorite brands and I've always wanted to work with them. Cool, I don't care. They go on to say to me, as social media creators, we're only as strong as our network, and I really would appreciate if you would give me the email of the person that you worked with. That way I can reach out to them and foster a brand relationship with them. Us content creators have to stick together. I left that on red. It is still on red to this day because I still have the message in my DMs because sometimes I look back at it to fuel my hate fire. Not all fucking influencers are like that, but when they are the fucking worst. I know people are gonna be like, name names. I don't need beef to keep me relevant. So why am I gonna start beef and draw attention over something that happened at the beginning of the year when they know, if they see this, they know who they are. And that's all I need. End of story.
Get ready with me while we talk some shit. I'm just kidding, but I am gonna spill a little bit of tea because I know you guys love when I do that. So today we're gonna be talking about some of my worst influencer encounters. And shout out to Athena because she really inspired me to do this. I do want to say I am grateful for these experiences because even though they were trashy and shitty to be in at the time, they do give you a little bit of a backbone. So we're going to take it back to one of my first ever brand trips that I've been on. I was the smallest influencer there, so I was already feeling like I didn't deserve to be there. And because a lot of the girls didn't know who I was, a lot of them were like, oh, you must work for the brand, right? And it was a little bit embarrassing having to be like, no, I'm a content creator like you. I'm just not as big. And there was quite a few people that did that to me. More than one, more than two. We're going to use the ColourPop Stone Cold Fox palette. I do have a discount code with them. It's NICOL at the checkout and it is affiliate. On that same brand trip, there was a night where there was a big party and it was back when Snapchat was like poppin'. So this person had their phone out, they were Snapchatting, everybody was kind of like dancing in a line, and when the camera got to me, it quickly got moved away. I was so mortified and embarrassed because I actually felt like I didn't fit in. Another time I had a horrible experience was at a brand red carpet event. Basically, I had gotten pushed to go ahead of another influencer there, and that influencer was very pissed off, and I heard them say like, oh, she's a nobody anyway, it doesn't matter. God, I wonder why I have self-esteem issues. There's also stuff that goes on behind the scenes that obviously won't always become public. Like, it's a lot of he said, she said shit. And most recently, I got told that someone said I was annoying, loud, and too much. Back in the beginning of my career, I used to ask people to collab a lot because I thought it would be fun, I then heard from somebody a couple years later that this person said that they would never go on my dying channel. I've also had influencers tell me to my face that they're not gonna invite me to things or that there wasn't room for me, and that is a whole other level of holy shit. I also have been let down a lot by certain influencers. I always try my hardest to support and be there for other influencers, and sometimes I just don't feel like it's reciprocated to me. And I don't support to try to like get something in exchange. It's just, it would be nice, right? I've also had a lot of influencers confide in me and vent to me, which is a blessing and a curse. A lot of people will talk shit and then go and hang out with who they were talking shit about the next day. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 or to hear about the worst brand encounters.
Here is the story time of my first experience with like a true LA influencer. Since moving to LA, or even just since becoming an influencer in general. I honestly fucking hate that word, I'm not gonna lie. But since that, I've heard a lot of like, oh, it's such a fake world, people are crazy, all these things, and I was like, I never really believed any of that because every influencer I've met, I honestly don't have any negative experiences with. I'm also not really in the influencer world. Like, I don't live in like the depths of West Hollywood and I'm like collabing with everyone. Like, that's not my vibe. I just like to talk shit with my girls. This all came about when Nicole and I went to an event together. The fucking Sunday night, and Nicole's bitch ass, of course, was like, let's go out. Like, let's go out. I really didn't want to go out. And everyone we're at the event with was like, no, like, I have an early morning. I can't really go out. Except this one girl. She's like, let's go out. And I was like, I finally convinced them. I was like, let's just like do a dinner. Like, let's just go to dinner. The moment we sit down at this dinner, I know that everything's about to go downhill. This girl non-stop starts talking about her ex. Just like a little backstory, Nicole and I are definitely the type of girlies that are like, you don't need no man. Like, we will help anyone through like a rough situation. Like, we will be like, girl, like, let's make a game plan. Let's get you out of this shit. Keep that in mind. Girl starts like oversharing how she's the other woman in her ex's relationship and how she's fine with it. And Nicole and I are just kind of like, wait a fucking minute, what is happening? And I kid you not, she would ask like one question about me and I would be like, oh yeah, like
like this happens. And then she would immediately be like, and back to my ex. Like, I know, this girl knows absolutely nothing about me, but let me tell you, I could write a fucking thesis statement on her and her ex-boyfriend. Things I know. Nobody should ever know that many things. And it came to the point where I was like, I nudged Nicole and I was like, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm like, if Nicole would just have listened to me. And I, even as we were driving to the restaurant, I was like, let's just go to the Cheesecake Factory, you and I, and just have a time and grub together. No, Nicole needed to get drinks and we needed to hang out with this girl. And I could just tell on Nicole's vibe too. Her and I were both like, wow, oh my God. You know it's bad when like the story she's telling us, we're like, what the fuck? Like, we're not even trying to help her get out of it. We're just sitting there like this, like, I cannot believe the things that are coming out of this bitch's mouth. There was no energy in me to be like, girl, you don't need that. That girl wanted that man. There was nothing I could do to help her get rid of it. That's not the bad part. This girl brings up Ozempic. Listen, I get Ozempic's huge in Hollywood. Everyone loves Ozempic. I don't really give a fuck about Ozempic. I'm also not like, I don't want to be on Ozempic. And there's Cole sure as fuck doesn't want to be on Ozempic. This girl is on Ozempic. There's nothing wrong with that. Until she tries to convince us to get on Ozempic. The way this girl is talking about Ozempic, as if she's like in a pyramid scheme for it and she like needs to sell it to us kind of thing. Like, that is the way that she's describing Ozempic to us. And Nicole and I are kind of just sitting there like twiddling our thumbs, like, what the fuck do we do? I'm getting an earful on fucking Ozempic. I'm getting all the pros of Ozempic, how amazing it is, all these things. I never asked. And also, Nicole and I are like previous eating disorder girlies. Like, the last thing I want to do is hear about Ozempic while I'm shoving my face full of pizza because I'm a fucking hungry bitch. Like, I've worked too hard in my eating disorder recovery to be like fucking at an MLL scheme trying to get, like, this bitch trying to get me on Ozempic, like as if it's her job to be an Ozempic dealer. I would get it if I asked about Ozempic, but when I tell you I don't give a single fuck about Ozempic, I don't give a single fuck about Ozempic. Don't forget, it's a Sunday night. This lovely couple sits down next to us, like this elderly couple. They're just there to have a good fucking dinner. And this girl is screaming. She's like, yeah, like when I went to go get my stuff from my ex, like he just had his out. Listen, I'm a girl that overshares. I'm not gonna judge you for oversharing whatsoever. But at this point of the dinner, I was fucking done. And the poor couple next to us, just trying to enjoy the goddamn pasta, has to hear about her ex's throbbing hard dick in her face. I could just tell Nicole was so fed up. Nicole did something I've literally never seen her do. She was like, where's the check? Like, we just need to get the check and get out of here. The thing is, I'm not even sharing with you guys, like, the depths of it, of, like, the things that I've seen. I've seen pictures and videos that will never leave my mind. I'm not well. Nicole and I get in our Uber, and I'm like, Nicole, I'm gonna fuck you up for that one. And she was like, how was I supposed to know? I was like, I don't know, maybe the only person that was like really down to go out on a Sunday. And we were just like Nicole was like, I really wanted dessert. I was like, bitch, same, like I really wanted dessert, but I couldn't sit there another second. Like, it was just getting so bad. That was my first experience with an LA influencer. And let's just say, like, I'm good. I'm sticking to my people and I'm good.
Okay, I'm stuck at the airport because I lost my passport, so I figured now would be a good time to expose the truth about LA. I went there for work, like influencer type work, and it was borderline horrifying. So yeah, I would love to tell you guys some of the most fucked shit I've ever heard. Some of the most famous people that you know on planet Earth say. One of the most famous people that I met in my entire trip, I heard them say that mental illness is for the weak. My manager, who was very well connected, who brought me out there, as soon as I didn't have sex with him, he let me go and told me to go find my own work. Like, literally just asked him to please not sleep in my bed, and then all of a sudden it was, fuck you, you stupid bitch, you're on your own. One of the most famous song managers in LA, for like literally the top artists, said that I should shut the fuck up in all my TikToks because nobody wants to see a woman talk, and that I would do a lot better if I just got naked on my TikToks and just shut the fuck up. And besides the fact that my most popular videos are of me talking. Another famous guy said that the line between fucking a girl and a girl is just too tough to distinguish these days. And then proceeded to say that if you'd had sex with a girl once, then it's her fault if she says no again because it's too confusing for the man for her to retract her consent the second time. And if you had sex once, then you automatically deserve to have sex with her again. What the fuck? I got told I was disgusting for drinking tap water. Tap water. I got fun of for putting on Deftones, like at an appropriate time. I wasn't like throwing it on at like a raging party. Also got made fun of for putting on Shape of Your Heart by Sting, which is like the sample from Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD. They're like, oh, like do you not know the original like by Juice WRLD? And I was like, this is the original. Like I like both, but I just like the original sample too. And they're like, oh, this is like so gay. Like put on Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD. Okay, no problem. You don't have to be so mean. Everyone just always talks about LA having this like sinister kind of like evil vibe, and like I really didn't believe it until I got there. And then maybe it was the group I was surrounded by, but I'm being honest with you, I was around like the elite top people in LA. So if that's the top, then like that's terrifying.
Imagine you reach out to a content creator that you really looked up to and you decide to collab with them on your swimwear brand and make a swimsuit that they wanted, and you spent hundreds of dollars curating this, and it ended up taking like 4 months to do this because there was some issues throughout the process. And then you finally get the fabric, you make the swimsuits, you're updating her throughout the whole entire process, and she is loving it. And then you give her the swimsuit, and she ghosts you, doesn't text you, doesn't respond, doesn't post anything for a week and a half. And then you text her, and you've been reaching out to her, and there's still no response. And then when she reaches out to you after a week and a half, you tell her that you don't want to work together anymore because you need someone who's committed. And then she begs to work with you. And then after, she decides to flip the script, say she never liked the swimsuit, and make a bunch of other excuses and drop the collab check. Get ready with me while I talk to you guys about that. With all of this, I have been so stressed out, and the only thing keeping my face hydrated has been the Tower 28 face moisturizer. It is their 6th birthday anniversary, so use code birthday16 at checkout for a discount. Where do we begin? So in the month of January, I reached out to this pretty well-known content creator just because I've worked with her before and she has always been pretty good to me. And I thought, hey, like it would be really cute and cool to curate a suit with this person. Mind you, I reached out in January. I didn't get a response until probably like end of January, February, I would say. Honestly, it was probably towards like more end of February, I would probably guess. And so I'm waiting for my straightener to heat up. And so I reach out and I'm like, hey, like I would absolutely love to work together, blah, blah, blah. After a while, she responds, she's like, yes, let's do it. We set up one meeting, okay? And we got on a call and she gave me some of her ideas. I designed this really cool pattern in my graphic design class, and it is like a dream and I love it. And I wanted to use that instead because I thought that would be really cool, but she didn't like it and she wanted to do something different. So we did. She gave her ideas, I went on Procreate, I designed it, I drew it, she loved it, we went on with it. I then went and got it printed on fabric, and when it got shipped, there was like some issues with it, so I then had to contact the company, and I got it fixed. And throughout the whole entire process, I'm like sending her screenshots, I'm sending her like updates of when it's arriving, everything, like just keeping her very in the process, and she was approving everything step by step by step. And I want you to keep this in mind because this is a very important part. Then after a while, like probably like 3 weeks, the fabric finally comes back. So then we're in the beginning of April. I had just gotten back from Japan and I am working my ass off on making these suits. I sent her a picture of when the suit arrives, the fabric, and she loved it. So it was like a polka dot print. This print wasn't symmetrical, but it still looked really cool, and I made the best out of it regardless of like what was going on with the fabric, and she approved it, so there's really like no excuse. Mind you, I'm a full-time student. I work full-time, so I work every single day, all day, while still doing school, and I have a business. So if I can do it, anyone can fucking do it. So I'm like finding so much spare time like at the end of my shifts at like 7 p.m. and I'm sewing till midnight, or like waking up in the brick of the morning to sew these. And she told me that she was potentially going to Coachella next weekend, so she wanted the pieces sooner so that she could style it there and while like on island.
before she left. So I was like, okay, I made her set, and then she came, she picked it up, and she told me that she loved it, and she also told me that she had a bunch of free time that week so she could film a bunch of content. I was like, perfect, like, let's stay in touch. I'll reach out to you tonight or tomorrow, and we will figure out when we're doing the shoot, when we're doing more drops and marketing stuff, all of that. I like to stay on top of things because I have a lot of things going on in my life, and one thing I don't mess around with is my business. I am so passionate about it. I've had so many people help build it, and I just don't let things like slack. So then the next day I text her. I'm like, hey, let me know how you feel about the suits. Let me know if it fits, all that jazz, whatever. Like, I have some marketing ideas that we could do. And I sent her like a concept. No response. Then the next day I emphasized the message to see like maybe it got lost in like her phone or something. Like, I don't know. No response. Then the third day rolls around. No response. So I send her another message like, hey, can you let me know? Like, I work full time. Like, I need to work around my schedule for any shoots or anything that we have. Like, I would have to probably like take off, or we would have to do it before work or after work. No response. A week and a half goes by. Still no response. But she was posting on TikTok every day, Instagram every day. Still no response. At this point, I am super frustrated. I am like, what is going on? Like, you know, like I know that people are busy, but like a week and a half. So then I decided to send one final text, and I gave her until the 16th, and then if I didn't hear back from her, I'm going to be proceeding the collab on my own, because it's not a collab at this point, it's one-sided. So then spontaneously on the 16th, I hear back from her. Weird. And she's just apologizing, and she's saying how all of her messages were going to her computer because she got a new phone that day, and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Hence, I thought that was a little weird because that day she told me that she was in Kailua all day, and it was already pretty late in the day, and she was going to Ulta to exchange some products, and then was going to come pick up the suits. I don't know. I just, like, I analyze everything, and that's something I analyzed, and I was just like, if you, like, I have 3 Apple devices. I have my phone, I have my computer, and I have my iPad. My iPad and my computer are all synced to my phone because a computer and an iPad doesn't have a phone number. So any calls, any FaceTimes, any texts, you do that through a phone number, not an email. So I was getting fishy vibes. She then says, like, I'm sorry, like, everything was going to my computer. I didn't get anything. Like, I haven't checked it. I wasn't on my computer, like, blah, 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 like, saying all these things. And I'm, like, sitting here, like, damn, like, your job is social media. Like, if you know you have a collab with a brand, you should be on top of it. Also, if they give you a swimsuit, the least you could do that day or next day is let them know how it fits, if you like it or not, like stuff like that. Communication is very crucial for the development of success, whether that's with personal success or business success or just with other people, relationships. If you don't have good communication, you are not going to succeed. And I thought that that was weird because she, like, you know, that's all she does is like social media and stuff by what I know and by what people have told me. And so I was just kind of like, come on now, what? Something's not adding up. And I am not a fool. Let me tell you that. I am not a fool. And I don't know if she's like used to like delaying content or not responding to agencies or people or brands for a while and then still being able to work with them. But just because I'm a small business doesn't mean that you get to like walk all over me and then, you know, not prioritize me. Especially if we have a collab coming up and we had a drop a week later, guys. A week later. Then she's like apologizing, saying all these things, yada, yada, yada. Tells me that she wasn't getting any of her messages, she wasn't on her computer, da, da. Then I'm just like, what is going on here? And I then sent her a big text. And throughout this, I've been so professional, so professional. Like I said, when it comes to my business, I don't fuck around. I want to keep it professional because if it were to be just personally me, oh my God, I would have said so much. So then she's like saying, I'm going to be on top of communication, blah, blah, blah. I give her a second chance. I'm like, look, if it was any other business, they would have probably dropped you and moved on. This isn't acceptable. But we have a meeting tonight at 6 with the photographer to go over all of the details regarding the collab, the shoot, the models, everything, and I need you here at 6. She said, yes, 100% will, and confirmed and was responding and all that. 6 o'clock, nothing. 6:10, nothing. 6:20, nothing. 6:30, nothing. So I decided to give her a ring, nothing. And I texted her, nothing. Are we surprised? Part 2 coming. Here's part 2 to the story time. I then am with the photographer and we have been there waiting for about 30 minutes and there's still no response. I'm confused. I have just been so frustrated because I feel like that if it was any other person, they would be on top of it and they would be so eager to do this. And I just need someone who's eager. Like, I'm an eager person, and if you aren't going to be eager, and if you know that you can't be committed and you're not going to give the time and day, and if you can't communicate properly, just don't work with those people. And one thing I will appreciate is communication fully, whether it's ruthless or not. If you can communicate with me from the beginning and tell me I cannot come, or I did not like it, or this is that and the third, I would appreciate that more than stringing me on. You know, it's a waste of my time, waste of money, and waste of space. At this point, I'm just kind of like, am I really surprised? Am I surprised? No. And I just kept giving her the benefit of the doubt because I really try to see the good in people, and like I try to make excuses for their actions even though like it's 2025. You know damn well what you're doing. We are not 6 years old. So then me and the photographer, we have the meeting, we're planning the shoot, which we are so excited about. And we are working with so many cool people. Like literally we got over like 40, maybe between 40 and 60 DMs of people wanting to work with us. And I'm just sitting here like, well, one person won't, another person will. So then we're just planning, we're going over everything, we're figuring it all out. And then late at night, like once the meeting's done at 8:30, I just kind of like, I'm just so over it. At this point, I don't want to work with her anymore because I need someone who's eager, someone who's committed, someone who's going to be there because, you know, I just don't need slack in my life. And I text her that. Instantly responds when I tell her I'm dropping the collab with her. Instantly responds. But you couldn't respond to my text at 6 or my call. She then goes and says that she was so confused. She had a class study group. And I'm sitting here like, so that study group magically like appeared when you said you would be here? And then she goes and says, like, I'm sorry, I was responding really quick. I wasn't really paying attention. And I said, like, in the nicest way possible in my message, that's your problem. You don't communicate, you don't read thoroughly, and then you get put into situations like this that prejudice other people and their time and their money and everything in between. Then she's like begging me to still continue. She literally says, I love these suits. I love these suits. Guys, I have like screenshots and everything from the beginning. I'm just gonna wait to post those because, yeah. Then she's like begging me to continue working. She's saying how she loves the suits. She's saying how she's staying on top of it, yada, 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 like all these things, whatever. And I lay it flat with her, like, I don't want to work with you, blah, blah, blah. She continues to beg and say, like, no, like, I'm going to be on top of it. Like, I want to work. Like, I'm sorry, I had a study group. And then I'm like, okay, well, if you were studying, oh yeah, hear this. She then goes and says, I have been doing school all week. I've been on a computer doing school all week. You've been on your what? Computer? All week? She's been on her school computer all week, doing work all week, and that she had a study group that day that she said she would be at the meeting but never showed up, and doing schoolwork and blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, okay, so if you were on your computer all week, how the hell were you not checking my messages? Or the notifications would pop up. As soon as I open up my computer, I have little tabs that pop up. Apple does that. It makes it pop up. Shout out Apple for being on top with literally everything that you do. So I'm like, girl, these lies aren't adding up. Just say you didn't care. Like, it's that easy. Just say it wasn't a priority. It's that easy. Or just say you didn't like it. It's that easy. So then she's saying all these things. She's saying how she was really busy with school and that she has been doing school all week. And then I was like, okay, well, it doesn't make sense because, like, you've been posting all these TikToks for all these brands and other stuff, like, every single day, but you haven't checked. And she was like, oh, well, these are all pre-recorded. I just press, like, post. So all you have to do is press post for pre-recorded videos, but you can't create a 15-second video for the swimsuits I gave you? Question mark? Like, guys, I can't do anything, guys. I cannot do anything because I have to post pre-recorded videos. I'm busy for the next week. Come fucking on now. What? I'm just confused. Actually, no, I'm not confused. I see the bullshit right fucking through it. The first excuse is that she didn't check her messages on her computer. And then the second excuse is that she had a study group. The third excuse is that she had to post pre-recorded videos and that she was busy. Okay. So I'm just like, what the hell? What the absolute hell? I stand my ground because from this point on, I have been so like, okay, I'll give you another chance. Okay, Like, I'm just being very nice about it. And mind you, I was going to give her a higher commission for each of the suits, but that was only because when we agreed, she would start marketing and posting and doing all these things to kind of build the hype around the drop. And so I was going to give her a lot higher of a commission rate. And honestly, like, I was even thinking about giving her a little bit more because she's, like, bought from me before and we've worked together before. And I wanted to, like, surprise her with that, you know, because I don't know, I wanted to be nice and I wanted to have, like, a long-term collaboration with her. And like I said, I've known her for a while. Like, she used to live with one of my friends and she's like friends with some of the people that I know, and like, you know, granted, I've heard a lot of fucking shit. And I, you know, but I just gave her the benefit of the doubt because that's just who I am. So then I lay my foot down and I'm like, look, I'm only going to be giving you 15% commission for this. I was going to give you a lot higher, but I'm not going to give you that much. You haven't done anything. The drop is literally next week. If you still want to collaborate on this, that's what I'm settling for. I'm not going to go any higher. I'm not going to go any less. And I already have this shoot planned out with my friend and my friend, she's also the photographer. If you want to plan with your friend who's a photographer, your other second shoot that you wanted to do at the laundromat, go fucking ahead. You can pick the models for that. I'll provide the suits, all that jazz. And I was very straight up. And I'm not like, I might be talking to you guys like this, but like in my text, I was like very professional. She then goes and says that she's like, Gigi, like, that's a suit that we designed together. You're basically stealing my idea, and Gigi, you're being basically so rude. Huh? I'm being nothing but professional. You had a week and a half to respond to me. You didn't. You didn't respond to me. You didn't care to respond to me. Like, if I was working with a company and I didn't hear back from them for a week, I'd be worried. Just the same way they'd be worried. They're like, what's going on? And because she works with so many brands, like, she knows damn well that there's like deadlines, there's dates, and like they reach out constantly. And I'm like, being rude, I have been giving you nothing but chances. I have been so like in this. I have been so invested. I spent $450 on this out of my own pocket. And still somehow I'm being rude. And you are still going to earn commission even after you ghosted me for a week and a half and didn't do anything. I'm so rude. Nah, baby, I stand my ground. And you didn't like that I clocked your ass. So then I was a dumbass. I gave her another chance. We can laugh now, guys. We can laugh. I gave her another chance. Silly fucking me. And I told her, I was like, okay, well, if you want this to still happen, you got to do it under these terms, yada, yada, yada. Stay tuned for part 3. Here's part 3 to the story time. So I gave her another chance, and I texted her, and I laid it all out with her, saying that it would only be that certain commission, and that if she still wanted to do it, she would have to do that one shoot, but I would need her to come to every single meeting, and I need her to participate in everything that is going on, because that's a collab. A collab is a collaboration between 2 or more parties. It's not one-sided. If it was one-sided, it's not a collab. I've had my business now for almost 2 years. I have been doing this all on my fucking own. Do you think I need someone else? I could have easily put that $450 towards the other design and make a new drop that I've been eagerly wanting to do. Which, a matter of fact, I am doing, and that's coming out in June with another drop. So we got 3 drops under 3 months. So then, after a while, she sends me the most ChatGPT fucking message, because I know she doesn't speak like that. Like, her responses have been nothing but, like, personal, and mine have been professional. This wasn't her speaking. It was either fucking ChatGPT or someone fucking else. And she basically flips the script, says that she never liked the swimsuit, says that she has so many collabs listed behind her, and that she wanted to prioritize my brand. Well, if you wanted to prioritize my brand, why did you ghost me for a week? Why were you so busy posting pre-recorded videos for other brands? Even though she was like literally posting her boyfriend in half of them. I don't know if he's a PR stunt, if he's a brand, whatever the fuck. And I'm just sitting here like, what? That's not a priority. Priority means to prioritize something. I did not feel that. And completely flips the script, flips the narrative after she begged to still continue working with me. Told me throughout the whole process, even until the day before, that she loved the suit. But wait, she still hasn't returned the suit to me. And then I basically text her, I'm like, okay, if you can drop off the suit, that would be wonderful. Thank you. Because like I already said, I did not want to work with her. Like, it got to a point where I just, like, I don't know why she kept begging. Like, if I'm not interested, don't beg to be in a place you are uninvited from. And I just think it's so funny how, like, throughout the whole process, like, I am if anyone knows me, everyone knows that I can yap and communicate. That's something about me, and I always put my foot down. I don't tolerate disrespect. I don't tolerate slack, none of that. Like, I will always put my foot down. And so, knowing that she's a lot bigger of a content creator than me, and I have a smaller business, I'm not as big, like, really felt diminishing. It felt like a big slap to my face. Because it's like, damn, this took, like, from, I want to say this all took about 4 months, 5 months, from me reaching out to her to now the end of this. It has been about almost 6 months. We are about to come into May. And it does not take me that long to drop a collection. It takes me a month, maybe two. I'm quick with it. When I see a vision, when I want to do something, I do it. I don't slack, and I don't overreact. Oh, and let me rewind real quick. I actually forgot an important part. When she was like, oh, like, you can't be using that, like, you're basically stealing, blah, 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 blah. How is it stealing if I designed it on my iPad on Procreate? She sent me, like, a mock-up of what she made, and then I was like, okay, and I completely made something completely different, and she loved it. So, I don't know. So yeah, it just really sucks that I had to deal with this, unfortunately, because I was really excited and I really looked up to this, and she very much disappointed me in all the worst shapes and ways someone could. And like, guys, I was like, it's like really cute on, okay? It's reversible too. Like, the cut in this, The drop she didn't like, but you will. Launching next week.
Hey guys, here's part 4, and this is the part with receipts. And the only reason why I'm going to put this is because I know some way, somehow, this is going to get spinned against me, and you can't be talking if you ain't got proof. So this is what I'm here to do. So this is when the pattern got fixed. Sorry, I'm in a different outfit. I'm going out now. I got cute. This is more of me updating, communicating, more just so cute. Her video of styling it differently, me putting it on, sending the other one, and I also sent some audios updating about like where we were planning on doing a pop-up and all of that stuff. And then once I was finished with her suits and I gave it to her on April 8th, I got ghosted. Or honestly, I think I gave it to her on the 7th, so Monday. Still nothing. And still nothing. Mind you, it's now been a week and a half. And somehow on the 16th, like the deadline I said, I hear something from her. It's like she chose not to respond to me all week. Tell me that my responses are not professional, because they were on point. Here's more. More following that. Here's more. And it's funny because I'm gonna show you guys what she made and then what I made and executed. So no, it's not stealing when you designed it. Like, I literally made it on Procreate on my iPad. The fuck? This is what like she made. This is what I made. Yes. Yes. Duh. And then here's my message again. Which is crazy because throughout this whole thing, like, I literally was giving her chance after chance. I was communicating with her, like, there's nothing more. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was, like, communicating. And you want to know what I think is so funny? You guys saw how in all those messages she loved it, right? But then, because she ghosted me, made up all these excuses, and then realized that she wasn't going to get what she wanted because she ghosted me for a week and a half, left me in the dust. So then I started doing things on my own because our drop was literally a week later. Yeah. Somehow she didn't like the suits, but I still haven't gotten them back. So what? Still nothing. Still nothing. Anyways, the suit she might not like, but I know you guys definitely will. It's launching on May 5th.
The worst influencer interaction I ever had was a couple years ago when I had lunch with this local influencer, and she posted everything that we talked about in real time on her stories. For context, I was trying to be a lifestyle influencer at this point, even though I sucked at it, and I met her because I was networking with other influencers, and she and I had a lot in common because we were in the same location, we were in the same niche, and we even worked the same job because she was also an engineer. She had her phone out a lot because she was taking a lot of like pictures and videos, but I thought it was of our food and because she wanted some shots of herself eating, but the audio was in it and we were literally talking about some really intimate and personal things. She was taking clips of these conversations and posting it on her stories and then putting the quote, tagging me in it, and hashtagging like women inspire women, girls support girls. For instance, on a lighter note, I was talking about how great it was to meet another girl in STEM because it's always great to see that kind of representation. So she took that clip and then posted it and then said exactly that and then tagged me. And we even got into the subject of mental health, and I was just trying to relate to her, and it's not a subject that I like to talk about publicly, yet she was taking all that I was saying and posting it on her story. She included that part in the clip that's literally like, I don't talk about this publicly, but you know, like I'm comfortable talking to you about this. I was literally telling her that these are personal things. This is a hard story to tell because I can't tell you guys what those personal, intimate things were, but I did ask her to take it down and she said no. She was like, no, these are great topics and they're important to be talked about. It's empowering to my followers and people already saw it, so why would I take it down? Long story short, she never took it down and we didn't stay friends.